Welcome back, guys. We got an amazing video today for you. This is going to be an item tier list. We're not going to break down all the items. I think that's going to take basically all day. No, that needs a separate video, to be honest. But we are going to break down the items enough so that way you understand which items to pick, which not to pick. And if you guys ever wanted to have a video to give you an advantage over the competition, this is definitely one to watch, because if you know exact 75% of the items aren't really that good. The top 25% though breaks the game. So we're going to get into all that, which ones are good, which ones are useless, why they are in the spot that they are. Hopefully they patch some of these and make it even better. But this is a really hard video that we've been working on for over a week, and we finally got it. So let's get into it. And I want to show you guys like the detail that went into this. So the first three items on the bottom of the list: power of the universe, power of earth, power of Namek. Okay, well, let's go look at the document, right? If we look at the document here, and you can see these right here. Just let me see if I can highlight them. There we go. Increases damage by 2%. Does not affect defense. Only works on Planet Namek and does not work on destroyed Planet Namek, even if the map was destroyed mid-match. Increases all damage by 2. So they all do all by 2, by the way. 2% for all of these. Not worth it. It's just useless. And then it only works on Torment Power. This one works on every Earth map except for City Ruins and Hyperbolic Time Chamber. So very high attention to detail. So right now we're going to go back over here and we're going to keep looking at the items, and let's see if we got I mean, really, there's not too much to talk about. I would say so the first thing I like to talk about though, Ki Blast Charge 1, Ki Blast Charge 2, Ki Blast Charge 3 have, this is the only item in the game that's like this, by the way. Excuse me. It has no effect. Like, it takes 40 frames to charge a Ki Blast, regardless if you have the item on or not have it on. And that's essentially what it's supposed to do. Big impact is like if you have these little impact clashes and you win and your DP is lower than them, depending on how much lower your DP is, depends on how much extra damage. I think if you're 1, it's 500, 2, it's 250 extra, so 750, and then it's 250 every in addition to that for every one that they're higher than you. So I mean, that it's really niche. I don't think it's useful at all. There's not many times you're going to be doing clashes. I mean, I personally put it at useless. I would never run this item. If you see their items near the top of the list, there's no reason for you to run this item. A lot of these attack up items and stuff like that, like Ki Blast attack boost, they're like 2.4%. They're nothing. They're literally nothing. Combo Master is 0.0012% per hit that you do, and yes, it stacks, but it's 0.0012. It's, you have to do a lot of hits for that to actually matter, you know, like you don't even start seeing it until the 12th hit. Sparking Plus, for example, I think you lose half a health bar if I remember correctly, but it increases it by 3%. There's actually another one that has no downside that does the same thing. And High Speed Movement Master is 20%. Super Movement Master is 20% as well. Reduction to your key for using super movements or high speed movements. But the problem is it also reduces your defense by 20%, which is such a big drawback. And there's going to be items later that have no drawbacks but do the same thing that are going to be higher on the list. Therefore, these right here I put in useless tier. Without further ado, let's go to D tier. So D tier is going to have several different things. So you could also see at the top those high speed movements, the secrets to high speed movements, the secrets to super movements. Those right there are, guess what? They're the same thing as the ones before, but now they don't have that issue behind them. So that is absolutely a usable item. Is it broken? I wouldn't waste time on it, but I mean, is it helpful? Could be. Now let's go over Latent Power Unleashed 1. you get an extra key or a key bar, right? Like that. I mean, that's useful. First, I usually run out of key right at the beginning, especially if I mess up. Where, I'll short dash to them with a gut volley, a key blast, and then if they're guarding, then I'll grab. If they're not guarding, I'll punch. But sometimes I just instinctively punch, and then they have a perception, and perception takes your key bar even further down. So now I have 0 key. If I have this, I can have 1 extra key bar. Yet again, there's going to be things at the higher up on the list that are going to be a lot more worth it. These are like the lower tiers of all of the items. So yeah, anyways, speed up is basically the short dash. You could do more short dashes. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this tier. Melee charge is where it reduces the charge time for your melee, which is decent. Like that, I mean, it could be worth it. Smash attack boost, I think, is 5% at level 2, 7% at level 3. We'll go over level 3 here soon. Rush attack boost is about the same. It's 5% at level 2, 7% at level 3, 2.4% at level 1, if I remember correctly. And let's skip over to C tier. So, sorry, there's just so many items to go through this video, guys, that's the reason why I'm just kind of moving right along. There's 94 items to get to, so it's a lot of work. Energy Saver 3 is somewhat useful. If we go back over to the spreadsheet, hit Control Find, then Energy Saver. Oh, whoops. Don't. I know how to spell. I promise. I know how to spell, guys. Don't. Oh, someone's going to comment on it. I swear to God. Okay, so yeah, see, 1.6, 2.5, 4.8%, right? So that's Energy Saver. So 5% with Energy Saver 3, so it's in C tier. I mean, 5% is somewhat useful. Is it that useful? Not really. I wouldn't use it. You also have Indomitable Fighting Spirit up here. That has a red flag to me. It's 16% key. Like, you get 16% more key back whenever you're doing rush attacks. So, for example, if you're just hitting the punch button and that's all you're doing, then you're going to get 16% key back. It's on C tier though, because you don't get that much key, and 16% of a small amount is an extremely small amount, so it doesn't really help you all that much. Divine Blow, it increases the damage of your ultimate by 5%. And Fighting Spirit also increases it by 5% per health bar loss. So if you lose 1 health bar, it's 5. You lose 2 health bars, it's 10. 3 health bars, 15, so on and so forth. So Master Roshi's training over here, I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's a waste of a slot. There's just way better things to be putting on your character. It's 25% health buff. So yeah, I mean, use it if you want. Personally, I think it's not very useful. So yeah, let's go on to the next one, right? So B tier. Now B tier is, now we're starting to get some actually good stuff, and the next tier is going to be even better. I do want to give you guys information. Super Sparkin, I got a photo of it offline. However, I do not own the item. It did have a description of the item. It was like somebody took a screenshot of their game whenever they had it. If you have this item and you care to help the editing team and I to figure out the statistics, we could run some tests with it, and we'd be happy to figure out the specifics. I'm pretty sure after testing all these items, I know what it does, because a lot of the items have the same variables. So what it reads essentially is that you get more rush attack damage while you're in sparking, and sparking lasts longer. So sparking, I guarantee you, it increases your sparking duration by 3 seconds, and the attack increase is probably 5% or less, but we're just going to give it 5%. So that would be a very safe bet on what this actually does. Some other mentions right now is Water's Blessing. It takes a minute and 40 seconds to get one health bar back as long as you're touching water. That's really good. Other things is look at Latent Power Unleashed 2. It starts the game with 2 key bars, which there's still a third tier to this, so it's going to be better. It starts you with 2 more key bars. So instead of you starting with 2, it's going to start you with 4, which is really good. It's pretty good. So yeah, that is why. Oh, I'm skipping around. Am I skipping around? No, I'm on B2. Okay, we're good. I'm sorry. There's just so many items on my screen. So, all right. Anyways, another one to talk about is Combo King. And Combo King is kind of an interesting one. So the more hits you do, the more damage you'll do. I think it goes up per hit by 0.0035%. So it's a very, very small percentage, but it does stack on top of each other. It doesn't compound, but it stacks on top of each other. So therefore, it makes it does kind of start doing damage after 12 hits. And so on and so forth. So if you're doing really long, like 40, 50 hit combos, it helps, especially since you're like, you have to remember that you also have depreciating damage. But personally, for me, I like doing combo resets. So I would just advise you to reset your combo like every 20 hits or so. And then that way it resets the depreciating values back to nothing. So you do more damage. As for King Kai's training, you get half a health bar for this, so it's pretty good. I mean, you start with half a health bar. Duly note, like, let's talk about Fury with King Kai's training. So Fury says whenever you lose a health bar, you gain attack power. I think it's 2.8%, and then or something like that, and it's like 8% and then 15%. I might be confusing it with another item though. No, I think that's latent power item. So it's like 5, 10, 15. So Fury is 5, 10, 15, and I think latent power is 2.8, 8, and 15. So, but yeah, that should be extremely accurate. It's on the document though. And just so you guys know, if you use like King Kai's training and let's say you get a whole extra health bar because you're using another item with King Kai's training, then you're not going to get the benefit of Fury or latent power or anything like that from health bars that you got from items. So that is something to know. So using these items to get more health bars isn't going to really help you with with Fury, latent power, and all those. Another thing is Style of the Strong. I can't remember what it does. We're going to look it up, but I do know it's important. So let's see, Style of the Strong. Okay, Style of the Strong is going to increase the duration of sparking by 3 seconds with no downside. I mean, this is somewhat useful. It's definitely not an A tier item. And I mean, it's one of the bottom. You know, I wouldn't put it in front of Water's Blessing. I think Water's Blessing is definitely better, especially if you just pick a water map, because you got like a 60% chance of getting the water map. So that's my opinion on that one. Let's go to A tier. So A tier is going to be Almighty Boost, which is essentially boosting everything. I mean, like rush attack, smash attacks, ki blast. It just boosts everything by 2%. It's like 2 point something percent for everything. I'm not going to break down every single one. We have it in the document, but it's in the 2% range. Latent power, I already explained this, but let's go over it again. So 2.8% defense increase when you lose 1 health bar. It's 8% when you lose the 2nd health bar, and 15% when you lose another health bar. So I mean, that being said, if you have like 4 health bars, like Broly or something like that, it actually might be really useful. Mind Breaker, for example, is also really useful, because if you break someone's guard, it usually does 1 key bar, but it reduces it by 1.5 key bars. And a lot of this game is whoever has the most key gets to vanish the most times. So if you're constantly just chipping away at your opponent's key bar, that really hurts them. Miracle Master. A lot of people like doing like blast supers and stuff like that while you fall on the ground. So it successfully dodges any attack while you're on the ground. So that's really good. Secret measures. I think I forget how to do this one. So let's just look it up real quick. So secret measures. Um, Here we go. So skill count increased by 1 at the beginning of the battle. Now, this is one that I wanted to talk about with Proof of Friendship right next to it. So, Proof of Friendship right next to it is kind of interesting for the fact of one. So, Proof of Friendship, what essentially what it does is it lets you start the game with instantly being able to switch out. So, you can instantly switch out. And if you start with that, and you start with secret measures, and you start with another one where you start with full key. Which one is full key? I want to say battle control. So let me Rising Fighting Spirit, I think. So we'll yet again check it real quick. So Rising, and then Fighting Spirit. Key gauge starts out full at the beginning of the battle. So yeah, I think that's extremely good. So instead of doing the unleashed ones at the near the bottom, I think Rising Fighting Spirit is beyond the way to go. I mean that it's really good. So yeah, that's just something to think about. And let's say because with those together, you could immediately switch. I mean, think about DP battles where like you start out as a base form and you can immediately transform into something else with different items. So it's like, yeah, these items take up a lot of space on your custom, but then like you can immediately switch to another transformation with different items. So that's definitely something you should look into. God of Destruction training lets you start out with 75% of a health bar more than what you had. That's actually useful. Like that's useful. So now we're getting into this is the really good stuff. And Savior, I can't remember what it does to save the life. There's just so many items to remember off the top of my head. So yeah, sorry about that. But it says enter sparking when switching out. So see, this is amazing to me. So, but you can only use it once for battle, right? So, but you essentially, whenever you switch out to another character, that character will instantly have sparking if it has this item on it. So that means, like, for example, let's say you're playing Fat Boo, just because I was practicing with Fat Boo today. He has an unblockable super explosive wave. Like, what's the likelihood that you're gonna switch to Fat Boo and instantly be in sparking? So you instantly do an ultimate, and let's say if they're on the ground, or if you trip them, or if you hit them with, even if you hit them with a gut punch, heck, even if you here's another thing, guys. Like, if you throw a key blast at somebody and then switch, the next character will smack them. So, or if you send them flying and then you switch, the next character will smack them. So that's some interesting like tech for you guys, and you can go right into an ulti, like right into an ulti. Like, and if you're a character, for example, like Fat Boo, where it's an unblockable super explosive wave, the likelihood that that's going to hit is like 99% chance of hitting. So like that's just an instant 2 health bars gone from your opponent. So it's really, really good. Yeah, so that's, yeah, I mean, that's Savior, but it alongside with anything else. But I mean, it's still like Savior by itself. It's just really good to have on your team. Dragon Rush is really interesting. So this one basically makes it where your opponents flinch at every punch. So for example, if I'm playing Hercule and you have Broly, right? If I punch you, you'll flinch to it. So it takes all armor away. And there's items later that will put armor on the character, and it goes right through it. It doesn't matter. It just goes right through it. So very good. Battle control, Dragon Spirit. Whew, I'm gonna have to look these up. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I can't memorize all this stuff in such a short amount of time. I'm so busy. So battle control. Okay, so we got battle control right here. Reduces switch time from 25 seconds to 15 seconds or by 40%. So either one. So I mean that's good. I mean if you like to here's why it's on A tier, right? Whenever your character is not in the game, let's say you switch out, that character gains health every 90 seconds. He gains a whole bar. So like switching out is the name of the game when you're talking about um, this game. Like whenever you lose like a health bar or two, just switch out. Like you don't have to wait till you're one bar. Like just switch out whenever. Like and the more you can do that, the more we can keep the health increasing on your characters. Yeah, so you essentially want to almost constantly be switching to a character with full health, like constantly, because you want all of the characters on your team healing at the same time. I mean that's huge. So that's why it's up there in A tier. Let's go over Dragon Spirit real quick. I'm sorry if I'm looking like every single one up at the moment. Um, it's just it's so many, there's so much information to remember, and I don't want to tell you guys and then get it wrong. And I am terrible at spelling right now. I guess don't have me type and make a video at the same time. So it reduces the skill bar recovery time from 8 by 18%. So instead of 14 seconds to have a skill bar increase, it's going to take 11 and a half seconds. So it essentially means you have more skill points. Like for example, if you're somebody like Yajirobe, this might actually help you because you really want to get all 5 for that Sensu Bean as fast as possible. And that 4 seconds or that 3 second is a 2.5 second difference. So if you multiply 2.5 seconds by 5, that's 12.5 seconds right there that saves you. So you get it 12.5 seconds faster than you typically would just by using this item. And so you can do it over and over. And I don't know, 14 seconds, if you multiplied it by 5, then you would figure out how long he would have to wait. I think it's like I want to say like a minute and 10 seconds or something like that. And then if you have this item, it would be approximately 58 seconds. This quick math in my head, don't kill me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so Guard Master is really good because your guard can't be broken. That's amazing. Like because you lose a key bar when your guard is broken. So this is going to save you a lot of key throughout the game, like a lot. So it's really really good. That's why this is an A tier. The secrets to Z burst dashes is above that. So that's like every time you Z dash around someone. That's the really super fast movement that takes you around someone. I mean, honestly, you shouldn't be doing that. So I probably should put this lower on the tier list just because I should try to advocate for people to stop doing it. I know I'm bad about it. If you watch like me play ranked, I do it all the time. I'm like, hey, look, I can get away with it. So like, I understand. Like, it's just a convenient way to get to people, and yeah, but you technically should not do it. It's too easy to counter it. They can hold A and X if they're on the Xbox, Square and X if they're on PlayStation. You can do it that way. You could sidestep it. You could do the auto target tech that I came out with, and then you could perception it or guard it. Yeah, so there's that. Let's go on to the last tier. So now we're talking about Z tier. We're talking about the biggest, baddest, most broken items in the entire game. The first one I want to point out, like just to get over with, is Broly's Ring. Right, Broly's Ring says if this item is on, then your opponent cannot transform or fuse. So that's huge. I mean, especially if we're talking DP battles, like imagine someone picking Super Vegito, or I'm sorry, not Super Vegito, but Vegito, and he has to stay in base form. He can't go in Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan guy. He has to stay in base. Or if they choose a Kefla and they have to stay in base. So I mean that really hurts, especially if like just think of Goku. Like base form Goku isn't nothing, but I mean Super Saiyan Blue Goku is a lot. Same thing with Goku from GT. Like base form's not really anything, but like that being said, like Super Saiyan 4, that's something. So that it's really good. But the problem is, and the reason I wanted to bring this up first, is right now this item is bugged. You can see it in our document there that it's bugged. Whenever you equip it, it instantly dequips it for right now. So right now it's just a bugged item and you can't use it. I do think it's one of the most powerful items in the game if you could use it. But yeah, so we'll start at the bottom and we'll work our way up from there. So God Key is really interesting. So what God Key does is it literally halves the key consumption. It halves the key consumption for how can I say it halves it for your supers. So for example, let's take a Kamehameha. Kamehameha has 3 key bars. If you have God Key on, it's now 1.5 key bars. So it halved it, right? Then if it misses, you gain a key bar back. So if you do a Kamehameha, it misses the target, like it hits a wall or something, then you get 1 key bar back. So you only lose half a key bar for a Kamehameha if it misses. That's really good. That's for any super. That doesn't include skills. That just includes supers. Now I think that's the lowest item on the list. I think that the other ones are way better. For example, warming up. So this is like, if you remember us talking about battle control, right? Then you know, I told you switching out is basically the meta of the game. Warming up is, how can I put this? It increases the health gain from switching out, like from the standby characters, by 50%. So instead of 90 seconds per health bar, I think it's like a minute per health bar. Is something ridiculous like that. So that right there is a broken item. Now, Dende's Healing, I actually put these two side by side because I don't know which one would be technically better. They're both ridiculously powerful. So Dende's Healing, you get a whole health bar while you're in the game every 60 seconds, regardless if you're attacking, regardless if you're defending, regardless if you're just standing still not doing anything. It's every 60 seconds you get a health bar. So I'm sorry, not a health bar, but half a health bar. You get half a health bar every 60 seconds. So every 2 minutes. So what I would say is warming up and Dende's Healing, these should be on every character, like literally every character. The next 3 items I'm going over is yet again every character. Like these are the most broken items in the entire game. So warming up, Dende's Healing for health, that absolutely broken. Battle control is probably up there too. It's one of the top ones in A tier. You don't have to have it, but these in Z tier, you need to have these. Warming up, Dende's Healing, Draconic Aura. Now this is so important, and I'm going to come back to it, but I want to go over Light Body and Power Body first, right? So Power Body, it makes it where your opponent cannot flinch you for the first 3 or 4 hits. And it just depends on what character you're using, but essentially your character, like for example, if you know how Hercule attacks like Broly or a big guy and nothing happens, that's essentially what this does for your character. However, it reduces your defense by 12%. So everything's going to do 12% more damage, but this is so worth it because your opponent can't hit you. That's so big. That I don't think you realize, like it's broken. It's broken big. It's just completely broken. Now, Light Body is the same thing, but for small Ki Blasts. So if you put both of these items on, they can't punch you and they can't stagger you with Ki Blasts either. Neither one of those work. So the only thing that they can do is stuff like smash attacks. Now, here's where Draconic Aura comes in. Draconic Aura, you put that on because it flinches your opponent no matter what. So for example, if you're playing Hercule, right, you're going to flinch a Broly or a Super Great Ape. And here's I'll do you one better. If you're Hercule and you're against Broly, right, Power Body and Light Body on Broly, the Draconic Aura will go right through Broly's armor and the armor of the item. It nullifies all of it. And Draconic Aura, other than Dragon Rush, this is why Dragon Rush is lower and Draconic Aura is higher, right? Draconic Aura, the only difference between the two is it affects your Ki Blast. So your Ki Blast will also stun people with Light Body. So your Ki Blast will stun your enemy no matter what. So that's why Draconic Aura is on here. So if you think, let's think about this, right? If we're making a character and we're making a DP team, right? We can put Power Body, Light Body, and Draconic Aura, and Dende's Healing, and Warming Up on our character. Now, if you're playing single battles, Warming Up, you should take it off. There's no reason to have Warming Up in single battles, right? But if you're playing, team like DP battles, Warming Up, absolutely. And then let's say we put, I would say, look, why not put Battle Control on, just for the fact of, if you have Battle Control, you can switch out sooner, and that's essentially the name of the game. You want to keep switching out as much as you can, so that way you keep your entire team's health all the way to the max. Because if you keep switching out, every time you end a combo, switch out. Every time you end a combo, so that way whenever you switch out to the next character, it's going to do is it's going to make your entire team heal. Whoever's not in the fight can heal. So if you have 4 characters healing at the same time, that's what you want. So you literally want to cycle through every character you have after they take damage. So you take a health bar damage, switch, health bar damage, switch, health bar damage, so on and so forth. Like literally just keep switching over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, so that's Battle Control with Warming Up. That being said, looking at some other, if I had to pick ones, I probably would choose Latent Power, maybe, just because I really like defense, or maybe God of Destruction Training. Yeah, I mean, God of Destruction Training sounds really good. So I think maybe if I was making a team for DP battle, it would be Power Body, Light Body, Draconic Aura, Dende's Healing, Warming Up, Battle Control, and God of Destruction. I think that would be my particular approach. But I mean, really everything in A tier is very valid. Very valid. Like every single item in A tier is just, it's really good. I mean, these are the items that you should be choosing from. Z and A by far. Like I'm looking at the whole list, but like by far Z and A, hands down, is the part of the list that you really are going to want to be choosing from. But anyways, that's about it for this, guys. If you guys want to see, for example, a breakdown of the items in detail, where all we do is sit there and look at a spreadsheet and go over every single item in the game, leave it in the comments down below. If you guys want it, I'll make it happen. That being said, I think this is a pretty good overview. If you choose the guidelines and the items that I'm telling you, it's really night and day. It's kind of broken, honestly. Like, they can't hit you with melee, they can't hit you with Ki Blast, but if they try to do the same thing to you, you can still hit them. And also, you're healing when you're out of the battlefield. You're healing whenever you're you're just constantly healing all the time. Just you're always healing. So that's essentially what it's complete. That's completely broken, absolutely broken. But yeah, guys. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everything. Please join us in the Discord, or join me on Friday with the live stream. Like, if you join us on Friday with the live stream, where I basically let everyone else choose my characters, and yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So come in there and spectate, comment. If you come in the Discord, come chat with me. I'm in general chat, in general voice chat, and general chat a lot of the times, because I do it while I'm working on these videos. I'm just in there. So if you have any questions about our spreadsheets or about our tier list or something like that, you can comment in the video, or you can come in the Discord and just talk to me personally. But anyways, without further ado, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate everything that y'all do and support the channel. It's just amazing to see you guys show up, and it really makes me want to make more content for you guys, just like this. But I'll see you guys in the next one.